Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of the Spartan Sports Report here on TV3. And as you can see, there are just two of us today. Sam?
Yeah, we got to wing it today, Fran.
That's right. Well, we'll do our best.
Yeah, well, a couple old radio guys can talk for a little while.
Yeah, right. We can fill some of the dead air, as they say, or something.
Yeah, nothing worse than dead air.
You know, this is the most important week in high school basketball, the week of the sectional.
Yes, it is, and that all begins on Tuesday night.
Right. People look forward to that every year, and coaches I know do too, and the kids do too. Talk about the sectional.
Well, it's, as you mentioned, it is the most important. It's survive and advance is
That's
what,
right,
it amounts to, and anything can happen, as we've seen over the years.
A lot of surprises.
A lot of surprises.
You lose a game, you go home.
Our sectional at Greensburg happens to be nearly the conference tournament, except East Central's not in it because they play with the Columbus schools and the Bloomington schools because they're 4A.
Right.
But our sectional is very competitive, and you read news accounts about it. Very, very competitive. Spartans, according to Sagarin, has a 37% chance of winning the sectional. Next is Greensburg, I think, at about 29%. And then third is Lawrenceburg. No, I'm sorry, third is Batesville. And I think that's because Batesville got the bye.
Right.
But, as we said, anything can happen. You know, you look back a year ago, we thought maybe we were in the driver's seat there with Greensburg, round one, and we just went on a scoring drought in the fourth quarter.
Right, and a big lead at the end of 3.
Right, and we thought, well, if it's not Connersville, it'll be Greensburg. Well, it turned out it wasn't Greensburg. It ended up being Lawrenceburg winning it all.
That's right. Franklin County, did they go to the finals? I think they did.
I believe so, yes.
That was a surprise. Well, the tournament's known for its surprises.
It is, and it's a lot of fun. That's what it's all about. You know, you think back, and I like to think about days of single class back when they said, well, the small schools didn't win, but the small schools caused things to happen. One year, Cambridge City came down here and beat us, and shortly after that, our coach was terminated. So those things happen. They have consequences.
That's right.
Even if you don't win the whole thing and take the trophy home, things happen.
The Spartans are favored, to say the least. So that means the target on their back is a bit bigger than usual, probably.
Yes, and they always have a target on their back, it seems.
That's right. That's right.
But yeah, we're 7-0 in the conference, and I said the sectional is basically a conference tournament. So we're 6-0 against those that are in that.
We have the best record of any team in the sectional.
We do. We are 18-4. Our opponent, Lawrenceburg, in the opening round is 18-6. So they've won a lot of ball games. I have to think that it's going to be maybe a tougher game than we saw just last week or week before last when they were at Spartan Bowl. We're on a neutral floor, which can make a difference.
The Spartans have had easy going in the last few ball games. Is this good or bad, do you think?
Well, they have won the last few. I don't know how easy. I mean, it seemed like second half we tend to do well once we get a lead.
Yes.
That we're able to spread the floor a little bit, and you know, we talk about all the time layups and free throws.
Play Spartan basketball.
And that'll win you some ball games. But you got to stay with them and get the lead early in the second half, in my opinion, to be successful.
I'm sure Coach Brown's telling the young guys that you've been winning some ball games, not close ball games, but be prepared to win some close ball games.
Yeah, I think so. That you know, look back, and they tend to sometimes run together. But just last week at Northeastern, we pretty much dominated that game from start to finish. But before that, we had Franklin County and Lawrenceburg on the weekend before that, and I thought both those teams played well against us, but we were able to put them away in the end.
No close ball games in the end is a sign the Spartans are playing good ball.
Yeah, you have to think, Fran, that hopefully, they talk about peaking, and hopefully they haven't peaked yet.
That's right.
That they're still on the upswing. And with 7 seniors, got a lot of experience and good leadership on the floor, that I have to like our chances.
Oh, they're excellent. The kids are a good combination, work together, unselfish, and that all goes to show Coach Brown's coaching.
It does, and when you think about some of the players, when you think about what we have in the backcourt with Braden Pearson and Josh Williams, they do a great job at guard, and Josh, a little bit bigger for a guard,
Yes, he
about
is.
6'3", 6'4",
Yes.
which when you get to tournament time, I think can really help. But Gavin, I said Braden, I meant Gavin. Gavin does a great job too at the point, and he doesn't shoot a lot, but when he does, it's pretty high percentage shots, and he makes them.
Puts the ball in play, sets it up the play, and you have to have a point guard that can bring the ball up court.
Right. And he and Josh switch off doing that, and Josh can play inside or outside.
Yes, right. Yeah, his height.
He's tough under the basket, and along with his brother, who's just tenacious underneath. That I really like watching him play, and when he's on his game, we're pretty successful.
That's good. Let's review the section. It starts on Tuesday night.
Starts on Tuesday night, Franklin County and Rushville, which Rushville's down. I think it's only won 2 or 3 games, but anything, as we said, anything can happen.
That's right.
Franklin County, we saw them a couple weeks ago, and they have some pretty nice players. They had some that were suspended. Their leading scorer, Ertl, had a boot on that night, so we don't know if he's healed and ready to play come tomorrow night, Tuesday night, or not. But just one game on Tuesday night.
Starts at 7, and then we go to Wednesday at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, if we back up a minute, I want to plug at 7 if people are interested. It will not be televised, but on our sister station, 94.3 WIFE, will have the Rushville Franklin County game. So.
Good. We wish the Lions good luck.
Yeah, it's one of those teams we love
Close
to hate.
by, right? A rivalry on 44, yeah.
Yeah, that's been since you were a child, since I was a child. My dad talked about that rivalry. So. Yeah, and then Wednesday night, we will play first game, Connorsville, against Lawrenceburg, and that game's at 6 o'clock.
Yes.
And that early game, sometimes people are a little late getting there because they got to get off work, but I sure hope we see a sea of red on Wednesday night.
It'll be a battle, as you say. It's on the neutral floor, and I'm sure Lawrenceburg has something to say about getting beat 10 days ago. Something like
Well
that.
coached, we talked about that last week. Coach Cutter, kind of a student of Kerry Brown's. Now he does some things differently, but he still has high expectations and does things the right way. I like the young man.
Yeah. Well, Kerry's a great teacher, and this Coach Cutter is lucky to be someone like that he can look up to and learn basketball from.
You're absolutely right. Second game, Wednesday night, the host team Greensburg will go against South Dearborn, and I think that when they played earlier that game was pretty close, maybe within 5 points.
Something like that, yeah.
So Greensburg stilts on their floor, so you kind of have to give them the nod there. But as we said, anything can happen. South Dearborn, pretty good basketball team. The thing about it is that except for Franklin County and Rushville, everybody's above 500 and quite a bit above 500, like 15 wins or more.
Yeah, some very good records for the teams in the section, like with the exception of those 2 that you mentioned. And then come Friday night, the semifinals.
Semifinals be the winner of tomorrow night's game between between Rushville and Franklin County will take on Batesville. They got the bye. And then the second game will be the two winners from Wednesday night on Friday night, and then the championship at 7:30 on Saturday night. So full week of basketball here. And I hope that people went out and bought their tickets, because like I said, we want to see a big crowd there, and for $15 you get a lot of basketball entertainment.
I'm certain there'll be a lot of red in the crowd.
I'm sure there will be.
Looking ahead, after the sectional, the winner of the sectional goes where?
Goes to Washington, and big 3 hours away, maybe more.
At least.
I forget. I tried to put it out of my mind from when we were down there before. Now, regional's different this year. But in years past, you would play 2 games to win it. There would be 2 morning, early afternoon games, and then the championship at night. They're going to have same 4 schools feeding into that, as I understand it. But there will be 2 regional champions named. So, say Connersville is fortunate enough to make it back to the regional. We only got to play 1 game to win a regional. The change comes at semi-state, because before, during the class system here, there was only 1 game in the semi-state.
Yes.
So now they're going to have 2 games, 2 games to win it in semi-state, 4 teams in semi-state.
Is that good or bad in your opinion?
I don't know. It's a way of getting more communities involved, I think.
Okay.
Maybe a way for the IHSA to collect some more money.
Surely not in the back of their mind.
Well, it could be. And the thing is that you don't know who you're going to play. You can win the regional, and you don't know who you're going to play, I think, until Sunday after the regional, because they'll do another drawing of those schools moving into it. So, and I'm not even sure. I think semi-state, if we would probably go to the south, to the Seymour semi-state, I think.
Okay.
And I don't remember. Maybe Washington's hosting one too, and then up north, I'm not sure.
How do you get to Washington? You've been
Well,
there?
that old saying, you can't get there from here.
Okay.
Well, you can take 46 to Bloomington and take 69 down to, I don't know what it is, maybe 56.
Okay, down in there.
And over, or I'm thinking it's 56, or you can go down 65 to Scottsburg and take 56 across.
Okay.
And I may have that highway number wrong, but people with MapQuest on their phones, they just
they
plug
can
it
figure
in.
it out. You can't go to Indianapolis and go south, is what you're saying.
Not until they get 69
Okay.
completed all the way to 465, but
Okay.
that would take you a little far to the north. But getting to Bloomington's not easy either.
But like you say, you hope you make the trip.
Oh, I hope so.
Yes.
You know, if we got to go to Timbuktu, that's where we'll go.
Well, it's going to be a great sectional, I know, and the weather looks good. So the Spartan fans come home with a victory Saturday night.
Be nice. And,
Should be nice.
Be nice to do like we've done in the past, that after we win, open up Spartan Bowl and have a little rally there.
Well, I'm anxious for that to start, and good luck to all the teams.
Yes, and the area teams playing in other classes. East Central we talked about in 4A, and they're going to have a tough road, but Cambridge City and Union County and some of the area schools as well. Richmond, I'm not going to say good luck to Richmond.
Okay, we won't. We'll just drop it there. Red Devils are doing okay, though. I mean,
yeah. Since we've played them, I think they've improved on the season. And,
they have, yeah.
Centerville will be also. They're in 3A, but they didn't come south with us, but I think they're going in with Newcastle and
I
those
think so.
schools there.
That's a surprise. They didn't come.
Yeah,
to
I thought
Connersville.
geographically it made more sense to come here.
It does. It does.
But, and make a 8-team sectional, and that way you do away with the bye.
perhaps the IHSA light will go on and they'll
Maybe.
decide that that's a good thing to do. So we'll know, though, it's one of those things that we have to wait and see what happens. So
So looking at this in 3A for in the in the Max Preps poll has Connersville ranked number 3 in Class 3A, and overall in all classes they are at in 25th, putting all 4 classes.
who's ahead
together.
of Connersville? I know.
In 3A, it's Northwood and Mishawaka Marion, 2 schools from up north.
Okay.
And then in 4th place is Norwell. So 3 out of the 4 schools ranked 1 through 4 are from up north.
Okay.
So Connersville really, when you look at it in the south here, Connersville is the highest ranked team in
this
what would be
area.
the South Semi-State.
Okay. That's good.
That's real good.
That's great.
Yes, it is. So,
Well, the kids, I know, will have something to fight for.
yes, they will. Of course, that ranking, Coach Brown will tell you that didn't score you 1 point.
I know that's his theory on the thing.
But it's nice to have something to talk about, right. And for the community to
Well, you
rally
hope it
around.
doesn't affect the kids' players. I don't think it will.
I think with the 7 seniors we have that they're pretty mature.
Sure.
And
Put that
you know,
behind
I had
them.
the opportunity to talk to them on senior night, and they're all well spoken. And I think watching them play over the years, they pretty much got their head on
They
their
did.
shoulders.
They did good work when you spoke with them. I mean, I was impressed with the youngsters.
Yes, very much. And
They're
hopefully, when the season's over, I believe the 25th of March is the weekend of the state finals. So after that, after their season is over and they bring home all the hardware, we'll get them in here in studio.
That's right. We'll crowd them around here.
Yeah.
But it's 7 seniors. That means that the Spartans will have some holes to fill
Yeah, it's,
come next year.
yeah, but knowing Kerry Brown, it's not rebuild, it's just
That's right.
reload.
Yeah, that's what they say, right. But he'll get the job done if anybody can.
Yes, he will.
So,
Yes, he will.
but I'm looking forward to this year, and this is a great time for the kids to really respond and play their best basketball. I'm sure they will.
Yep, 1 game at a time.
That's right. That's right. As we talked about, surprises happen, but we don't want them to be on the other side. So good luck to the Spartan. In fact, and good luck to all the teams.
Oh, yeah.
Because we hope that all the area teams do well and everything.
Right,
So,
right. And everybody gets through it healthy and
that's
no
right.
injuries.
We spoke last week a little bit about Orland Foster, but it was unfortunate how his season ended, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. But
Wrestling and everything.
But congratulations to him to make it to state finals. Just to make it there is a big deal.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. But he had an ankle injury that prevented him from really being at full strength and competing.
Because I'm sure, and I hadn't wrestled since gym class in high school, but I'm sure that you have to use those feet and ankles to push off and to get position. So, yeah, it's unfortunate, but he can be proud that he was there.
That's right. He brought a lot of recognition to Connersville, and that's great. We appreciate all that he went through, and his coach and everything. We had on the program and spoke with him, Steve DeGroat, and I know he's sorry to see him graduate and everything, but he's got a good core and good wrestling
Yes, he does, and
core coming up.
I think that he has the demeanor for leading those young men in wrestling and women or woman. Or I know that we've had some girls wrestle as well. So,
But yeah, I think the wrestling program has turned it around and it goes down into the middle school. So good things I think are coming up for the wrestling team for CHS. That's good.
I think all around our athletic program is pretty strong here at Connersville.
It is. We can be proud of it and everything. The track and field is already underway, and they've got some meets coming up shortly, I believe, a couple of indoor meets. So by the time the weather gets nice, they should be ready to go outdoors.
Yeah, spring's around the corner. It's kind of felt like that the last few days.
So let's hopefully that that it keeps improving and the seasons aren't messed up, and February is not spring, and
right, that March.
March is March and not January or something like that.
Yeah, we've been pretty fortunate this first year in years that I can remember that we haven't had postponements on basketball games and
Absolutely.
had to make them up.
Good weather, right?
We have, and been able to get through to all the games, all the road trips, and opposing teams able to get here. So.
And the football season went well.
Same way, same way, because you get rained out in football, and you're or lightninged out,
How
or
long
whatever.
can it continue?
Then you got to end up playing on Saturday. That's not a good thing.
No, that doesn't work well at all. But we're anxious for the sectional to begin, and we might talk about what's coming up after the sectionals are over and everything, and the spring sports. Girls tennis will be beginning practicing on March the 27th, so that's IHSAA date that you can start official, but they can still practice. But just what is the fine line in that?
I think that it can't be a real organized practice that
the coach can watch.
Coach can watch,
okay.
but yeah, it's different rules, I think, for different sports.
Yeah.
But a lot of those sports, though, those kids work out year round, trying to hone their skills.
That's true. Yeah, they don't. You see them in the park a lot, shooting basketballs and things. So, like you said, they just don't sit around until that date comes and start working.
If you do that, you're behind already.
I think you can work out and things like that in the training rooms. So, but guys, are just around the corner, and the softball, their date is March the 6th.
That's next week.
Right. So they can start practicing, and their first game will be March the 20th. Is the earliest they can have their first game. Boys golf is March the 13th, and March 27th is their opening game.
That might be a little. That could be a little dicey on the golf course.
Would be things. And about baseball, it starts on March the 13th, the official practice, and March 27th is their first ball game. So let's hope the weather
I
keeps
hope
on.
that the weather cooperates. Now, several of those baseball players are also basketball players, and state tournament could interfere with opening day.
Let's hope.
Yeah, we don't want to wish anything bad on but I think Coach Thompson, he'd be all right with it.
Oh, I think he would understand.
Yeah, he sure would.
I think so,
He's doing a nice job with those kids out there.
Yeah, they have a good baseball team, right.
And softball ought to be pretty. I think several girls from basketball team also play softball.
And they've had some successful seasons.
Yes, they have.
Yeah.
Yes, they have. Recently, I don't know, a few years ago, they'd won a sectional, and so it's as our enrollment has declined, we have more sports now than we had several years ago. More team sports, so more opportunities for kids to get involved, and percentage of students involved in something has to be higher than it was.
That's important, and I think building the field house was a step in the right direction.
Oh yeah, it's something that they use year-round for many different activities, and the indoor track, and I think they can practice other things like tennis and things inside as well. So baseball, they can put up nets and
the volleyball, and, right? Yeah. But it was a good move because schools our size have those, and
I like to think of it as quality of life too. If we're trying to bring new business into town, that we have good facilities that make people want to move here, and schools are a big part of families deciding to relocate.
That's right. They look at several different things before they move. I hope that we do get some athletes because of that, and
Yeah.
it's a good thing to have, and I think it was money well spent.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah, right. It it had to happen because I would go to the school and they'd be out in the hall. Youngsters would be running back and forth and trying to stay in shape. So they really needed a facility that they could rely on and was there to.
You look at Fran. You look at schools in our conference. They all have a field house now. So to keep it on things on a level playing field, it's important to have good facilities.
Sure is, yeah.
And we have good facilities, but it's important to continue to improve those as well.
Right, right. Because if you don't continue, someone gets ahead of you, and then you fall behind.
And when you have good fields and good gymnasiums and all that, doesn't always help you get tournaments. But if you got poor facilities, then it makes it hard to get tournaments.
Sure, right. But we have Spartan Bowl. It's too bad it's going to be idle this week.
Yeah, this year and next year. Somehow they changed it to 2 years.
Right.
And it should never be idle at tournament time. It wasn't voted the best high school gym in Indiana for no reason at all.
Greenberg size is kind of comparable, but
Yeah, just over 5,000, and
But
very comparable. But you kind of got to walk down onto the floor to get out,
and
it's the seats seem narrower.
right. And it's not like Spartan Bowl. There's not a pillar blocking your view
Right.
sometimes.
Right.
So it's hard to figure why the coaches decided
I don't know.
to play at Greensburg, and
I think they thought it was closer,
that could be.
but I talked to a few coaches that much prefer it here, just because of the facility itself.
And with the new railings that are going to go in,
Yeah.
make it even more comfortable. And
Right, and
For
more
people.
more accommodating for
Sure.
those of us that with the white hair.
Well, it's good to see that happen.
Yes.
It's something that has been lacking in our facilities because some folks just didn't want to try those steps
Right.
without something to hang on to.
I will say though that school has put out folding chairs around the top row so that people can still
To
come
help
and watch
those, right, yeah.
until such time as. And they will probably still have that because there still be people that have a hard time traversing the steps.
That's true. Yeah, right. I can understand.
But the same thing goes if you would walk in at floor level and have to go up, you still got to climb either up or down. Well, you really got to climb both ways.
It's a good point. Yeah, yeah, right. But well, Spartans in sectional play. We want them to win 3 ball games and advance on to Washington.
Right. They need, and I don't want to jinx them by talking about state tourney, but they need to win 7 more ball games.
Okay.
And we
well,
hang another banner.
Okay. All right. I hadn't figured that one out, but that's great.
And I'm trying to think where we would hang that, but we'll figure it out.
I think we'll find a spot.
Yes,
I
we
think
will.
with a spotlight on it and everything.
yes.
That would be great. It's right around the corner. Here is the end of the regular season in basketball and sectional, and it seems like we just started, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, I count down every year to that opening game. And, I'll start that again when we're all done for the year. But there are a lot more days in between than days that we're actually
It'll
in
be
season.
home before we know it, though.
Yes.
Thanks, everybody, for watching this edition of the Spartan Sports Report here on TV3. Have a nice evening.